Keep up. Today, it's barely visible. Sorry.
Either that or it's pound cake. Oh, that's
Yeah, teach you how to make pound cake.
over the intro.
Yeah. That's. I don't know if anybody. I'm sure you guys saw from the title what we're talking about, but man, that song is catchy. Today we are talking about Dispatch, a game that was robbed at the Game Awards.
Well, not robbed.
It was kind of robbed.
Okay.
There were a few games that were a little robbed. I'm sure Claire Obscure is excellent, but man, it's just like they just stomped them like Shroud at the beginning of Dispatch.
Well, hi, I'm Sick Jake. I'm co-hosting this week.
Yeah.
I guess I want to get right into it. Robbed. Okay. So we're talking about Dispatch, which is in the style of Telltale Games, and fantastic game.
Made by Ad Hoc Studio, which is formed from a lot of ex-Telltale employees, right?
Right. So at the Game Awards, it was up against Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Claire Obscure, of course. There's Silk Song. It was up against a whole lot of great games this year. I think if this came out last year, yes, I think it would have gotten something. But I think this year there's just not a chance. And I love Dispatch. I love this game a lot. But I don't think I was robbed.
I do too.
Although I would have liked to have seen a couple of those Game Awards for like the best indie game. Maybe throw a bone to Silk Song.
Yeah.
Or games like Dispatch. They didn't have to sweep every category, but yeah. It also came out late in this year as well. So I think that's a thing.
That's true.
So I'm surprised that he was even
that's
in the
never stopped a game from winning a Game Award before. What, it's been out for 3 days and now it wins? What?
Not even recency bias could help Dispatch win a Game Award, but that's okay. It did really well. It sold really well from what I could see. Like, what did it have on Steam? It's crazy.
Oh, I'm not sure. But I clearly forgot to put my little screen up behind me, and I should do that real quick.
And while you're doing that, I'm going to look up Steam.
We got to represent Beef.
Beef. The dog, yeah.
The dog. He is so awesome.
I like how they bring the character into the office, and it's just like your cranky coworker, Jeffrey Wright, just takes to him right away. It had its Dispatch's all-time peak on Steam, which is not everywhere you can play this game, was 220,000 players at once. That's the highest it hit.
Wow, that's impressive.
Yeah, and it's even right now, it's at 12,000 right now. So this game did phenomenally well on Steam and elsewhere as well. Like, it's crazy, but we should explain what this actually is.
I should mention I've gone through it 2 whole times in the last week.
Okay, you binged it.
Yeah, we binged it last. So, I mean, obviously this is pre-recorded, but today we're recording on a Saturday. We binged it starting last Saturday night. We did 2 episodes, and then Sunday we did the other 6. That's how much we were just every time it was like, oh, we can't stop now. We can't stop now.
Well, it definitely has that whole like cliffhanger aspect in a few episodes. And so for those who don't know, like when you buy Dispatch, it is 8 episodes, but it's all within that one purchase. When it first came out, it only came with the first 2 episodes, and they trickled out every week another 2 episodes. I think it was, or every week another episode. So when I picked it up, they were in week 2 of episodes, and I got to episode 4, and I'm like, I got to keep going. I got to wait a week. I got to wait another week, and it was definitely a game I wish I could binge flat out. Yeah, because
we literally there were other things we wanted to see. So the first one was mostly my wife's decisions. Whereas I'd throw input on certain things, or we were still getting used to the mechanics. So some of the decisions, like there's a little timer for where you get the chance to make your decision. And sometimes we missed it. So it would just pick one randomly. And so it wasn't everything she wanted her run to be, but it was close. And then the second run, I was like, okay, I know how I want to play this. So I played through it that way. And we actually still like, I'm going to play it at least 2 more times.
4 times? Really? I could see myself doing another couple times, but I don't know, 4 times? Because okay, so for those who don't know, maybe explain what the elevator pitch of this game is, because it's definitely a weird concept.
Yeah, so think of it as sort of an interactive superhero TV series. It has some stuff in line with maybe Invincible for those who have seen that to a degree. I wouldn't line it up with The Boys by any means. It's not quite that dark or gruesome, but it has its moments. So that's why I'm saying Invincible. But you play the story out, and your decisions sometimes affect the story rather immediately. And sometimes you don't see the effect of that for many episodes. And, like the 2 playthroughs I did, while there's a main storyline that the game tends to follow, there were some pretty wildly different scenes I saw in just those 2 playthroughs.
That's awesome. I know of a couple branching points, but I didn't know how deep it went. Because there are times when you make a decision in the game and it'll say like, so and so remember that. And you're like, okay. And then you don't hear from them at all. So it's interesting.
What's weird is at the end of the game, even there's a point where it's like, I was in the last episode, and I'm not spoiling anything, so nobody has to run away and hide. But in the last episode, I made a decision, and we'd already been playing it for at least an hour. And it's like, so-and-so will remember that. And I was like, how much game is left that they're going to remember that?
Yeah. It's the Telltale signature, I think, where they will do cues like that, where there definitely are choices that have consequences in this game, but I think there are also choices that don't matter at all, but you don't know which is which because they'll still do that hint of so-and-so will remember that, or the team will remember that. So they kind of give you the illusion of choice in some cases.
Yeah, well, sometimes it'll be like, they'll remember that, and, it might just be like a throwaway moment later on, and that's kind of it. Yeah. But there's some stuff that the wife and I theorize. So the wife and I theorize that will happen based on choices from early on. I think it's fair to say that most of the decisions you make in the first episode are not super intense in how they affect the rest of the game's story, except for maybe one. But yeah, like, so we saved it. We copied the file after I played through the first episode the second time to play it a third time, because we don't want to do the first episode again, because it was all pretty much the exact same.
Exactly the same. Okay.
But yeah, like by episode 4, I think we were seeing wildly different content.
Really?
And
I didn't think it was that drastic. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Some of the content that you see that's wildly different is because there's a few major branching points. And I'll start with the one that's in the second episode where, and again, I'm not going to spoil any names, but you're given a choice on cutting one of 2 of your team members. Like right off the bat at the beginning of the episode, right. They tell you this is going to happen, and you make that choice at the end.
Right.
And I haven't even seen one of them, because I did I cut the same character twice.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so I do want to talk about that one a little bit later in the episode with a little bit of spoilers later on. But for now, when you're saying we're cutting superheroes from the team, so the idea with this story is, like, the nutshell is you're Robbie Robertson. You're basically a poor Iron Man type of superhero character, I guess. And your suit gets wrecked in a battle, and you're out of luck, and then you stumble into basically a job working at an office where you dispatch other superheroes. I guess in this future, this world, it's how dystopian is it that you have to hire a superhero to get the most basic things done, and they have a guy in an office with a headset, like a la customer support, dispatching heroes across the city to do missions. And
which to me, that's what what feels The Boys to me, is like the superheroes are almost franchised. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you're working at just one branch in LA, like not even overall LA, but just a small branch in LA for the SDN, the Superhero Dispatch Network. And So it is a national, like it might be international. We don't know, but the implication is at least national. Where superheroes work for the SDN, and they have dispatchers that work in the offices that keep track of the incoming calls from the SDN subscribers. So it's not just, oh, there's a crime happening, go handle it. It's, oh, we're getting a call from one of our subscribers, go help them.
Yeah.
So, in some cases it might be a school or a football field or, some other sports stadium, or it could be, old lady Martha whose cat is in a tree. Like you're given it branches that wildly.
Yeah. And so the game is mostly a visual novel, right? Where it's a storytelling, but every single episode has a large section of the dispatching, kind of a mini game, but it is a big part of the game, where you're kind of shown a map. And on the map, you have on the bottom row, you have your heroes that on your team, the Z team. And then you have a map, and then alerts will pop up on the map. And then that's where you have to assign your heroes, and they have a timer based, like a cooldown. They have to get to the spot, and depending on the stats they have and the stats needed for the mission, which a lot of it is invisible, depending on what heroes you send, you get a better chance of successfully beating that mission. But it's like a mini game style, almost to the point, honestly, if this was like a mobile app, just the dispatching, I'd be all over it. I'd love the dispatch mini game itself. It's really cool because you get, especially towards the end of the game, you get multiple alerts on the screen at once, and a lot of them require a lot of skills, and you kind of by that point know what they're asking for. Like when it's there's a fire in XYZ. So if it's a fire and I need to rescue people, well, maybe I'll want somebody who's super fast to rescue, or maybe I want somebody with the water powers to put the fires out. I know what they're going to ask for the most part. Yeah. But it gets pretty hectic, and you don't win all the fights.
Right. That's something worth mentioning too, is the missions they get sent on, they have hidden stats, like you said, but you want to put together, you need to pick someone, or in some cases, multiple people to respond to that call, that have the stats you think line up with it. And in some cases, you can get away with sending one person on a 4-person dispatch if that dispatch calls for having if there is a perfect hero for that call, because some calls have what they call a perfect hero. And in that case, if you got the perfect hero for that, it's a 4-person call, you send the one. When they run into trouble, because some calls will run into trouble and you have to respond somehow, some of those calls that run into trouble have a perfect hero option that they will always succeed in. And the mini game is awesome. I hesitate to call it a mini game because it is probably a third to half to some episodes. Usually there's 2 dispatch shifts per episode. There's a couple that only have 1. And the first episode has a tutorial dispatch where none of that has any real impact on the game because it's in VR.
Right. Well, and the thing too is I only got 1 game over in my entire time playing through it. It's hard to lose the game. There's one section, I'll explain with spoilers later on why. Does it matter if you win the dispatching? Kind of, because your character ranks up and you get different dialogue from the characters. But most of the reason I like the dispatch minigame is the interplay between your teammates as they're trash talking you, the dispatcher on comms. Right? So they shit talk each other. Yeah. Or
Robert. And it's what I love the fact that their dialogue, their banter during those dispatch segments is impacted based on the decisions you've made in the past.
Yeah.
So they'll have different lines based on the story you've had unfold. And in some cases, their performance in the dispatch will come back and affect the storytelling.
Right. Well, like you had mentioned, cutting a superhero from your team as one of the events in the game. All the heroes have another hero they're friends with. If you send them on missions together, they get a bonus. If you cut
they have
that
synergy.
One member, and if you cut the one member, their friend will hate you for at least 2 dispatch sessions, and they don't pull any punches on what they do to you. But sometimes they'll sabotage each other if the team morale is not high. They'll interfere with things. Sometimes they'll just up and take a mission without you wanting them to. There's one particular hero who tries to prove himself, and he will just go on missions without you giving them go ahead, and it sucks because I didn't like him, or he put himself into the wrong type of mission for his stats. but it's for as simple as it looks, like the map and all that, there's a lot of depth to it, and it's helped huge by the constant chatter and voice work of the cast just coming back and forth. It's really rad.
And I will say that banter causes me to like, you can't pause the game while they're bantering because then it pauses the banter. But if you go to the level up menu, basically your team menu, while the dispatches are happening, it'll stop the dispatch game, but the banter keeps going. So sometimes I'll just go to that side menu just so I can hear the banter. Because I'm like, I want to hear what's going to happen and still get all the other banter that's going to come aside from just picking the missions and stuff.
Yeah, like the one thing with this is all the dialogue is really well done. It's probably my favorite part of this is just how great the voice work is in this game and how funny the lines are. Like, it's really great. Like, just like one of the early characters like you get is Sonar. He's voiced by Charlie, Voice Critical. And like, normally I'm not a big fan of non-voice actors doing voice work, but he really fits this character of Sonar. Sonar's like a crypto bro in a suit, right? Like a trade jockey, but he's also a man bat. So, and like his quirk is every time you dispatch him, he's normal. He's a crypto bro. He's very charismatic. You send him into the first dispatch, and then he flips. And he's like, I can't remember, his lines are like, beware, oh, here comes the bat or something, or here comes the beast.
Yeah, everybody better look out. Or
that's it.
Or time to freak some people out or something like that. People
out. Yeah. And then he's flipped. His stats are reversed and he's strong. It's just funny. So like they're all quirky like that to a different degree. They all have different abilities and powers, right? Like one, if you have a multi mission where you can dispatch multiple heroes, if you put her on a certain side in the slots, she'll copy another hero, so you have 3 instead of 2, for example. Like she's great. So there's a lot of
or one can fill out all the slots.
Yes. Yeah. Or
and so that one can, if you get him trained for it, one can tag along as an extra slot. Whereas, it might be a 1, 2, 3 person team. As long as it has fewer than 4, I think is what the requirement was. If you fill up all the slots, you can still tag him on as an extra slot just for him.
Oh, really?
Which is neat.
Which one is that?
Punch Up.
Oh, I didn't know you can do that. I have to go look. I didn't use him too much. I used him mostly for charisma, I think I've used him for. Strength and charisma, I think I was mostly using him for.
Vigor, probably, yeah.
Vigor, yeah.
Yeah, and sometimes the stats are a little hard to read. So each hero has 5 stats. There's combat, skill, vigor, which sort of means raw power and strength, not necessarily ability to fight. Then there's mobility, charisma, and intellect.
Right.
And so you kind of need to bounce out the 5-point star of, what you think the mission needs versus who you're sending for it. And I think there's a couple of abilities that will either show, for one person, I think they can unlock the ability to see what the stats numbers are. And for another one, they can see what the mission requirements stat link is. I haven't gone for either of those, but I got pretty good at like figuring out, okay, this means this, that means that. I still haven't had a perfect mission or a perfect shift, but I came very close.
It's hard to nail every single mission, right? Especially like toward the end of the game where it's just so frantic and morale is constantly changing. It's tough, but you don't need to. Like it's just fun doing it, and even the bad runs are still fun because you get that interesting dialogue. But I do like how there's the synergy bonuses. The more that you pair up, they unlock more abilities. You level up the stats as you go. I had what's the golem's name? Is it just Golem? I had him.
Yeah, it's just Golem.
I had him pretty beefy by the end. I think I had him maxed out toward the end. Him and Avisa Girl were really, really high. And I could send him in on his own and he could sweep any mission. Like he was just awesome.
Oh, yeah, pretty much.
But he was on cooldown, or if he was taken out for some reason, it sucked because I relied too much on him. I think I should have diversified my team a bit more. But yeah, it's really rad.
The second playthrough, I had a much better handle on how to who to send where. And there were only a couple of times I missed missions in my second run. And that was usually because I would go in to see what the mission was, back out, go in to see what another mission was, and then back out and go to see what the third mission was to try and determine, okay, who do I need to send where?
Right.
And then all of a sudden, that third time backing out, because I played with a controller, not mouse and keyboard, I couldn't find where my freaking controller was on the screen. And I was trying to like move it around to get up back into the selection. And I couldn't find it and time would run out on me, which I found super frustrating. So I kind of wish there was something a little more, like if you're in that bottom row, if you hit up at all, it should not matter if you're on a character that's not kind of nearly below something. It should still just go up, even if it's across the screen. And that's something I struggle with in this game sometimes, is that most of my missed missions have been because of that problem. Otherwise, like it'll be a failed mission, or I absolutely, like in the first run, I didn't prioritize things very well in some places, and I would miss them because everybody was busy or resting. But yeah, it's for the most part, the game works really smoothly. I am curious how much smoother it would run with a mouse and keyboard over a controller, because I played the entire thing, like I said, on a controller. And I will admit, like I thought this game was going to be a little bit graphically demanding. So the first time I played it, we streamed the whole thing from my main computer to my Steam Deck upstairs in the living room.
Right.
And then the second playthrough, like I tested it after we beat it once. And I found that it runs the game absolutely beautifully, 1080p on the Steam Deck. So the second time it was straight off the Steam Deck to the TV, just using my Bluetooth controller. And it was so much better.
Yeah, this is one of the, I mostly played on the Steam Deck. I did a few times I did play my desktop. I still use a controller. I can't really do the mouse and keyboard these days. But as great as the graphics are, I'm just pulling up a video here of a fight scene. The graphics look great, but it's all animated. It does look like a cartoon. It does. I feel like it's the same style of animation as Invincible, like you said earlier.
Yeah, it's definitely 3D modeled for most of it. There might be some 2D thrown in there here and there for like background art or some of the foreground effects, but for the most part, it's all 3D. And
it's models 3D,
most
2D
of
shaded
it,
like cartoon, right?
Yeah, most of it looks very believably 2D.
Yeah, and like I enough that it does look like a cartoon, a show I could watch on TV.
Yeah,
and it ran great on my Steam Deck natively. I had zero issues. This is one of the few games I play on my Steam Deck directly, because most things I stream. But I was surprised how well it ran, and how gorgeous it looks. Like I love the animation style. So this is like a Telltale game, and I had played a handful of those years ago when the studio was around. But like my issues with those were there wasn't a whole lot going on graphic wise. They were a little bit more static, and I didn't like how they were in episodes, and I didn't know if another episode was coming out. I think it was Wolf Among Us. Did they get an episode 2 at some point? I think, or it was years later. So I'm usually hesitant to buy these games, and I felt terrible when the studio got basically shut down. So when I saw that, some of those started up ad hoc and were making one of those games, I was kind of hesitant. And then I saw the reviews, and then I saw some clips of a playthrough of the first episode. It is Telltale DNA, but man, is it so much better than those old games. Like just more dynamic stuff on the screen, more action, more choices. Like there's a lot going on. It's really good.
And it's like, honestly, the acting is all really good. The storytelling is all really good. There's like one nitpick that my wife and I discovered that we have with the overall plot that I'm not going to spoil for anybody, because it might just be something we missed or something we're not connecting, or maybe it'll be apparent in a different playthrough of different choices. But for the most part, it's all really good. There were points where we were like on the verge of tears. It was a really well told story. And the acting all nailed it, be they content creators, voice actors, or real actors, because it's all three.
So the way I understand it is, it was a small, basically indie studio. They were running into issues with funding, and they approached the guys who run Critical Role, because Critical Role is not just the D&D playgroup now. Now it's like it's a whole empire of media now, right? They have their own cartoon shows and whatnot, as well as their own games and spin-offs. So they approached Critical Role. Originally it was for voice work, because there are a few folks from there, like Laura Bailey, of course. She's in Visigal. She's great. Travis Willingham, I think his name is. He plays Phenomenon.
He's Phenomenon.
Yeah. So, but more than that, when they approached them and they were looking basically for a partner, investment partner, and that's when Critical Role got involved. So when you start up Dispatch, it tells you it's partnered with Critical Role. So it's more than just voice work. They actually have a stake in making the game happen. We wouldn't have had this game without Critical Role's involvement. So that's why I was kind of shocked when I saw, okay, it's Critical Role, which is famous for just being basically voice actors doing D&D. It's all voice actors. So I was kind of wondering why they went with some influencers. Like I said, I have no hate for Moist Critical. I like the dude. It's fine. He was great in this. Alana Pierce is Malavia, which is the demon in the denim shorts.
Malevola.
Malevola, yeah. So there's a few and she's fine, but they're not professional voice actors. So I was kind of hesitant when I first saw that, but at the end of the day, it all fits because it's all over voice comms. Like it kind of fits the vibe of walkie-talkie chatter.
Most of it,
and it kind of fits like the content creator YouTuber vibe in a way. So it surprisingly works really well. And then again, when you have like the big players like Laura Bailey as Invisigirl, who's a main character, you have Jeffrey Wright, who's fantastic in everything he does. He's the voice of a mentor character in the game, Chase. Yeah, and he's really great. So the voice work when it hits really hard. Well, I mean the main lead, Robbie Robertson, is played by Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad, right? So he's
Jesse Pinkman in Breaking Bad.
Yeah, so really great voice work as well.
And honestly, I was a little surprised. I got caught off guard by Jacksepticeye. Is it Sean McLaughlin?
I think so.
I can't remember his real name, but Jacksepticeye. He's been a YouTuber for at least 10 years. He's been around the block on there. And then the one that really surprised me was Waterboy. Is Joel Haver. And I don't know, you've probably seen some of Joel Haver's stuff. He does those like weirdly, like he'll film it and then go back and animate over it using Ebisynth and coloring it and all that. And like all the short films he does on YouTube, because that's what he does, are just like kind of awkward, very much like Waterboy. And I discovered him like 3-4 years ago because he did basically like NPCs in video games. And so you see the hero running around doing things and just ruining life for the NPCs. But it was, that was the first video of his I saw. And I mean, his stuff is very freestyled. It's a lot of their videos are ad-libbed on his channel. And it's just Joel Haver. That's his channel. But I knew the voice right off the bat. I was like, is that? Like, it's gotta be, right? And then the second time Waterboy showed up in the story, I was like, that is absolutely Joel Haver. And he kind of works for Waterboy.
Interesting. Yeah, like all the casting is great across the board. They got Young Gravy, who's a rapper. I know him only because of BB No Money. My daughter loves him on TikTok. And he does the voice of Golem. He's great as that. He's right there. Jacksepticeye is Punch Up. And I didn't even realize, I didn't catch the voice right away until I saw afterwards in an interview. I'm like, oh, it actually works surprisingly well. It's pretty awesome voice cast.
Yeah, I tend to catch voices a lot in video games. Like I was playing Baldur's Gate 3 with a friend of mine and came across the character that's voiced by J.K. Simmons. Yeah. And I was like, is that? I had no idea he was in it. I was very surprised. And my friend was like, you would know better than I would.
No, I love J.K. Simmons. He's one of those actors who's just great in everything. And he plays such a wide range of characters, from J. Jomason in Spider-Man to freaking Schillinger the Nazi in Oz. And then he's playing, that it's the evil elf character in Baldur's Gate 3. Like, he's got a great distinctive voice. So I love him too. So do we want to talk light spoilers at this point? Like, for anybody who's not sure at this game, I mean, this game is definitely something I'd recommend, but
I do want to mention real quick before we get into spoilers, I was curious to see if this is likely to get a season 2. And it sounds like Ad Hoc is very interested in doing a season 2, given the success of season 1, but they have another Critical Role project they're doing first.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So we're going to get another Ad Hoc Critical Role game, and then maybe a season 2 of this, which I would love to see, because there's still things that are being remembered by characters in the last 5 minutes of the gameplay.
Well, and again, that comes down to, are they tracking that for another season? Would it something that they would pull, or are the games gonna be pretty standalone? Would they do more with this cast of characters, or would they do something else in this world? Because
That's true.
The world they set up with, where it's the idea of franchise superheroes, that could apply to anywhere in the country with brand new cast of characters if they wanted to.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't mind seeing some of the stuff with Mega Man or Mecha Man.
Some of that stuff could just result in throwaway banter in the second season, you know? But it's all like if they actually interconnect it in ways that the player recognizes from their own first season playthrough, that would be super cool.
Yeah, because like this game is basically I
have high hopes for this.
The first game is all about Robert and who's Mecha Man, but basically he's not Mecha Man for most of the 8 episodes because he's this robot suit's destroyed. So like eventually you get the suit back, but like that as a character, it would be interesting to see him as a superhero in a season 2 you are dispatching or something. So, or maybe they could do something completely different, like keep the visual style and the visual novel style that they've been doing, but do something and change it up. But I'd be here for it. I'd love it. I'm surprised how well it did. I can't believe it hit 200,000 concurrent on Steam. That's awesome for a game like this.
Yeah, that's spectacular. I'm very happy for them.
Yeah.
And I really hope they find a lot more success.
Yeah.
So, I think now we're safe to jump into spoilers. So, like I said, the first episode doesn't hold a whole lot that's really unique because you're only given a few options that don't hold a whole lot of weight. You can start like a romance in episode 1, I believe.
Is it episode 1? So like the romance options in this game are basically Blue Blazer or Invisigal. Those are the 2 options you
Blonde
get.
Blazer.
Blonde Blazer. Sorry, not Blue Blazer. Blonde Blazer or Invisigal. Right. But like
she does wear blue, but yeah.
One of the decisions you get early on is so one of my favorite characters in this is Flambe, who's a very Spanish, very flamboyant fire character, and he reminds me almost of Batmanuel from the Tick live action show.
He's like Batmanuel if he actually had superpowers, so he'd be more insufferable, right?
Yeah, he's insufferable. He's a total prick to the main character.
Very into himself.
Yeah. But you run into him in the bar, and he comes up to you, and basically you're in a superhero bar, and Robert has no powers. His powers are, he's like Batman, right? Iron Man. It's a suit, and the suit's broke. So he's just sitting in a bar and waiting for Blonde Blazer to come back. And he walks up to you, and there's a fight, like an altercation, and you get the pick. Like, do you either you can glass him, hit him in the head with a glass.
You can throw alcohol on him or throw water on him.
I thought you glass him where you actually hit him with the glass. No? Okay. So it's water or alcohol.
The glass is another interaction much later in like episode 7. Okay.
So I threw the alcohol on him, and he catches on fire and he burns his eyebrows. And you see those burnt eyebrows throughout the episode as it comes back.
Yeah, his eyebrows don't come back until very late.
Yeah. So it's pretty great.
So have you seen the other option if you throw water on him?
No, I always go for the alcohol.
Oh, yeah. It's great. If you throw water on him, he gets mad, right?
Right.
And he goes to come in to hit you. There's water on the floor below him. He slips on it and hits his face on the bar and knocks a tooth out.
Oh, so do they do the same thing where you don't see the tooth? Is the tooth missing from later episodes?
Yes, the tooth is missing until that same moment the eyebrows are back.
Yeah, he's such a great character. There's a sequence later where they're having a house party for Robert, and it's after an event where Flambe finds out something about your main character and he hates your guts. But he still shows up to the housewarming party at the end, and it's just so sudden. He opens the door and he just knocks Robert on his ass, just punches him on the face. And he's like, I don't forgive you, but I may have to do this once every month and knock you out. And he delivers a housewarming gift. Like, the character is so well written and funny.
So I did a thing. So like we're full steam ahead in spoilers at this point. At that moment where you can reveal that he's Mecha Man to the team,
right?
You can choose not to reveal that. My second playthrough, I chose not to reveal that. And so the team, their morale went down a little, but Flambe didn't get pissed at him.
Okay.
And so he showed up late for the house party too, the housewarming party, but he was just late. He wasn't mad.
So he didn't knock you. He didn't throw a punch. That's okay. That's interesting.
He's like, what did I miss?
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through at least another. I've only gone through the one time. Like I've seen other people play it, but they picked a lot of the same decisions that I did. So
yeah, I would suggest at the very least, if you play through a second time, just to experience the other decisions. That's why I want to play more times, because I was going for something specific my second playthrough. There's a few more options I want to see play out. That's why I'm going to play more. But yeah, I'm really interested to see what happens when I pick the other person to cut from the team. Do we care to mention that at this point? Because I think it happens at the end of the second episode, right?
Second or third episode. I think it's fine to talk about it, but the idea of cutting from the team was weird to me, because when we first started playing this game, you're in an office environment, and two things were kind of strange. One, that you're being told to fire somebody for no other reason than just to motivate the team. Firing to motivate sucks. And the other one is you having basically an inter-office romance with either your boss or a subordinate. So like this game is like HR the nightmare. But then I realized it made it feel a little bit better story-wise when I realized it's less of an office story and more of a sports locker room, sports team management story. And when I come in from that angle, I felt better about the story. And that's where I'm like, okay, I'm not firing them. It's a team. It's a sports team in a lot of ways. And you're cutting somebody as a low performer. I get it. Because like the idea with this is it's a team of misfit former villains for the most part.
Yeah, they're former super villains. Yeah. Like low level super villains, but super villains because they have superpowers. Right. And now they're in a rehabilitation program called the Phoenix Program, where they have turned themselves in and they're giving up their prison time in exchange for being heroes for SDN.
For subscribers, which is such a weird concept. But yeah, so you're given the choice between cutting Sonar, who's the man bat, and is it
Coupe?
Coupe, okay, or Coop, I guess they call it collar. Who did
they call her Coop? Because I cut Coupe both times.
Same. Okay.
Because I and it's fun because like I cut Coupe because I like Sonar. I think Sonar is a fun character. I think he's an interesting character, and I kind of wanted to see how his interactions with the story would play out with the other decisions I made. So that's why I did that. When I go through again, I am gonna cut Sonar because I want to see what happens with Sonar instead of what happens with Coupe late game. Because that's probably going to be badass.
Because like Coupe is, of the two, she is definitely more of like, oh, she's the real villain. Like she was definitely a hardcore villain. Sonar is more of like a henchman type of thing. But Coupe is actually a badass.
Yeah, he's like, he's a cokehead crypto bro.
Yeah.
Right? with
just a
bat form.
Yeah. Whereas Coupe's got the knives, she's an assassin, like she's another badass. So when it came to cutting the two from which one is more of a villain, I'm like, okay, fine. Plus I also liked Sonar a lot. And stat-wise, Coupe was better for the combat stuff, but I was really starting to lean heavily on Sonar because of the charisma 50% of the time when he's not flipped, right? I was using him quite a bit. It was him and Golem I used the most, I think, out of all the heroes. So I didn't want to cut him because I liked him for that as well. So but whoever you cut, you encounter in later episodes in a bigger battle. And that's where I got my game over. There was one scene where you have to do a certain number of dispatches and take the villain down. And I didn't do that in time and I got a game over screen. So it can happen.
Really?
Yes. Like I failed too much in one mission and I got a game over. I'm pretty sure it was game over, or I had to reload or something. Something happened in that.
No, I had that extra tracker health bar you get in the upper left.
Yeah, it's not doing that. No, and failing a bunch of missions. That was
not a. Oh, okay. Because I wasn't failing a bunch of missions, but that went down to 0 for me.
Yeah,
and that automatically tripped the next story scene.
Yeah, because that bar, if you can do it in time, you also unlock an interaction in the last episode with them as well. So, like it's neat how like all these little different things are moving parts unlock certain sequences in the story later on. It's really freaking rad. Like it's really, really good.
And so I will say Invincible, there's a character that you meet very early on Phenomenon, right? He's very clearly the Superman analog of the game, right?
Yeah.
He's Superman, Omni-Man, Homelander, whatever. Like he's an alien, superpowered, just nearly unstoppable guy. And I was like, oh, they're going to set him up to be a villain. And they didn't. And he ended up being one of the most likable characters in the game. You can be awful to him, and he's still so likable.
Well, he treats you like he comes off with like a air of arrogance, but it's because he's an alien. He's like Superman in that he's not from Earth. But this guy's
right.
Clearly
but he
not
came
from
to Earth as an adult.
Yeah.
So he's like, he didn't grow up on Earth and get used to our customs. He's from another planet and then came here. And so he knows the difference between right and wrong. But that's kind of all there is in common there.
Like some of the dialogue with him is like, you better stand back because when I launch, I knock back puny or lesser.
Yeah, I tend to knock out puny beings like yourself.
Yeah, he's just like but it's not like he's maliciously doing it. He's just saying what it is, right? But he's the one who has.
He's very fact oriented.
Yeah, he's got the relationship with Blonde Blazer at the beginning of the game, and they break up, right? And that's again, you have romance options, Blonde Blazer or Invisigal, but when he breaks up with her, or she breaks with him rather, he's devastated and he's depressed, and he's always eating melon. And he eventually tells you sign up for a Melon of the Month Club or something. And there's one line he's like, Melon of the Month Club, but I save 10% when I pick it up myself. It's just like the random one-liners.
I save 10% for subscribing for 12 months.
Yeah.
And I save on shipping if I deliver it myself.
It's so funny. But because you have the option of him joining your team, it's either him or Waterboy. And originally I took Waterboy, but you still get Phenomenon later on. But his unique thing is he gets depressed, I think, if there's a failure. And
yes.
And it messes it up.
I picked Phenomenon.
Oh,
so that scene where he talks about the subscribing for 12 months and all that, you don't get if you don't pick Phenomenon.
Okay.
Or you don't get if you pick Phenomenon. It's just the melon baskets keep showing up at work.
Okay.
Instead.
That's funny. Because he's super powerful, and really good, but the depressing thing balances it out, I guess.
Yeah, so he's already capped. He doesn't get experience when he goes on missions, which is the downside for him. So when you first get him, he's an absolute badass because he's Phenomenon, but he doesn't gain any stats, so he is static throughout the game.
Oh, that makes sense. So he's already maxed out. Okay.
Right. But yeah, if he fails a mission, he gets depressed, and that takes 45 seconds to overcome before he'll rest.
Right.
And it's not if he fails a mission. It's if he is like available to go on a mission and anybody fails, he gets depressed.
Yeah.
So it's like a huge setback to fail if he's not busy.
He's in a breakup, post break. You got to keep the man busy. You got to keep him out there doing things.
His character design is so good because there's a small detail about him that you can tell what his current mood is. Because if he's really feeling like he's succumbing to the depression, he's got like the full beard.
Oh, like the
but if he's doing okay, no, it's like an actual full beard, like big old, like it's the motorcycle handlebar up to the mutton chops, right?
Okay.
He's got that going on when he's really depressed. But if he's doing okay, he doesn't have that scraggly beard. He's just got the mustache. That's so funny. There's points in the game where it goes back and forth.
That's pretty rad. Because like I picked the alternate, which is Waterboy. So Waterboy's in the beginning game. In the first episode, you basically get him a job as janitor of the office. And he's tall, lanky, awkward, stammers, and but his power is power of water. And as a janitor, he uses it to clean up. So there's a sequence where there's a mess on a computer, and he just barfs water on the monitor to clean things up. It's the funniest, stupidest thing I've seen in a while. But it's just so funny. But when he's on you basically makes him officially a hero on your team. He's the one who will try to prove himself, and he'll barge into missions and grab them before you have time to put somebody in. And he starts out at level 1, Whereas all the other heroes are probably advanced a few levels by then. He has nothing. So it was painful first time on the team. Eventually you build him up and he's fine, but he's just funny. Yeah. His lines are great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Joel Haver like just winged most of those lines in their delivery.
I'll have to look him up. I haven't
That's
heard of
just
him
how he does.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a good chance you've seen at least one or two of his videos and just never went looking at his other content.
Yeah.
But his videos, they range from pretty funny but awkward to just intensely cringy.
Okay. But yeah, no.
But yeah, if you pick Phenomena Man, like he actually becomes really well integrated with the Z team. And, you know, he's part of the hangouts. And he's like, at one point when they have their meeting later in the game, and Robert's like, what's going on here? And they're all saying, what's up? He's like, I'm only here because I thought we were playing Magic the Gathering.
It's pretty good.
Like he starts to reveal later in the game that he's a Magic the Gathering player, and he makes a few mentions of it.
None of that.
And it's so fun.
That is pretty good. I have to try a run with him.
Yeah,
it's pretty good.
So you can there's options to romance people. You can either finish with romancing nobody, one of the two, and apparently rarely you can romance both. And so the game tracks like the percentage of players who've done that. I guess it's around 6% of players managed to do both. Honestly, it's more common than getting neither, which I did my first playthrough.
You didn't get any of them, really?
Which is at 5%.
Huh. Yeah, I do like how at the end of the game it tracks what your decisions based on what other players have done. That's always fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did a few things very different, and it made the ending, like I said, it still follows the main story, but my ending was quite a bit different still from how it played out with my other decisions.
Yeah, because there are multiple endings. There's a bad ending, I guess, and then there's a good ending, but there's also variations on the good ending, I believe. So I only got the one.
Yeah.
So I've heard of the other one, but I haven't seen it.
There's like 6 versions of the good ending, I guess you could say. Like,
right.
I guess maybe 4 or 6 versions of the good ending. 2 middle of the road endings, I guess, and then the bad ending. And I got the bad ending my first time.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't get the bad ending. Do we want to say anything about the endings or no? We're gonna.
No, I think we should leave the endings not spoiled. But yeah, like the decisions you make, be they early, mid, or in the final episode, will all still have an impact on your ending. Because like I said, some of them happen like it's in effect real time. Sometimes it's in effect much, much later, but things get remembered. And it's kind of cool how some of that stuff plays out. I will admit I was still surprised at how it ended my second time.
Yeah, I'll have to try again, going through it again. This is a game I wasn't sure about the replay value when I bought it. I wasn't expecting to want to go through it more than once, maybe twice, but
me either.
But it sounds like it's
yeah, like there's still stuff I want to do. And like I wanted to pick Waterboy the second time because I wanted to experience a character who actually levels up, and you know, later when you have both for a short time, I was like, okay, well, Waterboy sucked when I had him late game the first time, whereas the second time I had Waterboy who was pretty decent by the end, and then Phenomena Man comes and joins in. But it's really interesting, like I said, that decisions you make can affect team morale. And so I made a decision at one point that really knocked my team morale down in my second playthrough, and their stats were all suffering for it.
Yeah. And that's where those are the ones where you're likely to not necessarily win all the dispatches. And that's where it's like, it's fine if you don't win them. It fits the story they're telling. And they use that mini game as another way of telling the story. It's kind of what it is. It's more interactive. It's less story, centric, but it's definitely ties into the story.
We didn't even talk about the QuickTime events.
Oh, yeah. So you have options.
Yeah, there's accessibility options.
Yeah,
we should mention those. I know we did it after spoilers now, which sucks, but
okay.
there's accessibility options. So one of the first settings is QuickTime events. You can either have them on or off. And off is called a cinematic experience. Did you play with them on at all?
So I was playing them on and I didn't like it, so I turned them off, but I found it worse when they're off because it's almost a delay in the sequences and it didn't feel right.
That doesn't happen much. It
Really?
happens a lot at the very beginning.
Okay.
Those delays don't really show up later.
Okay.
However, I played it my first time without them on at all. And so there were slowed moments where I was like, oh, those must be the QuickTime events.
Yeah.
So when I tested it to see how well it ran on the Steam Deck before I actually played a second run with the wife, I was trying it with the different accessibility settings. And so I tried it with QuickTime events on, and I was like, I was playing things and, I would purposely fail some of them to see what was changed. And it didn't really change much except for how that moment unfolded.
Right.
And that was it. The QuickTime events have no impact on the overall story of the game.
It's just the battles
They're
you
literally
fight, they
just
go differently, right? Like you still
very little, and it doesn't hold weight in the story overall. Like it's literally just that moment in time is all it affects. Like a good example is when you at the very beginning of the first episode when he goes and heads to the hideout and he's sneaking in, right? If you do the first one, he drops down, kicks them, kicks their tablet away or whatever, and immediately beats them up and takes their gun. It's real quick. But if you fail all those, he takes a few hits. It takes a couple more hits for him to get the tablet knocked away. And there's a little more action going on, but ultimately the next scene is exactly the same. It had no lasting impact whatsoever.
Which is good.
It's just like 2 to 4 second differences that unfold differently, but lead to the same central path no matter what happens.
Yeah, like which is fine because I don't want a Dragon's Lair. I don't want to have that problem because the beginning was okay, but toward the end of the game there was a couple of fight scenes where, especially when your character's shooting off missiles, you have to rapidly hit the A button to match up, and I was screwing a lot.
Oh man, that would suck.
Yeah. But I mean, I still beat the game. So again, no game over scenario, but it was rough seeing him like in his moment getting his ass kicked. I
will tell you, none of them land.
Oh, really?
Even if you've got, they're just not supposed to.
Okay.
That's that point in the story. So it unfolds exactly the same.
So you don't have to do the QuickTime events if you don't like it. I know QuickTime events are kind of like a love it or hate it for a lot of folks in games, or people don't necessarily mind it so much. I usually don't like them.
I can see the point of having it because if you have a certain type of ADHD, it might engage you a little more. Or if you just want a little more engagement with the game, period, it's going to do that for you. Yeah. But I felt the cinematic experience, especially since it wasn't just me. I was playing with my wife and we were just enjoying the story together. The QuickTime events would have ruined it. The other accessibility options, accessibility, it's more censorship options. You've got the safe to stream and YouTube music, which I have to wonder what they replace it with, because all the music that they chose, like, it's really good.
So one of the voice actors, her name is Thought Squad. She plays Prism. She's excellent as Prism. One of my favorite lines in the game is when you're in a fight scene and she blinds somebody and the henchman's like, "Oh, I'm temporarily blinded." And she's like, "Temporarily, bitch, you're blind forever." It's just like, it's the funniest freaking thing. But what you mean temporarily, bitch, you're blind forever? It's so good. She did at least 2 or 3 tracks for the game. So I can't imagine they're replacing those, because she's the one who does the Pound Cake song, which I never heard of her before.
Oh,
I looked her up on YouTube after that credit sequence. I'm like, she's really talented. It's great. That's a catchy ass song. So she's done a few of the songs.
There's also a karaoke song that's done where it's altered lyrics to the song "I'm a Bitch."
Yes, Flambe singing it is so funny. they can't take that out. That's got to be still in the.
I have to wonder if it qualifies as stream safe or not, because it's like it's
Parody.
technically a real song, but it's also parody, so it's hard to say. But that was so good.
Yeah, like when they run at the end of the game, like in the end of the credits. That was pretty funny. That's why I want my wife to finish playing through the game, because I think she's not really big on the video games, but I think this one, just the story focus and the story forward stuff for the funny moments, I think she would dig, because like this is one of the few games where it's just genuinely freaking hilarious, and Flambe is a big part of that with his dialogue.
Yeah.
The other censorship thing was it hides nudity. There's actually surprising amount of nudity in the game. Not necessarily expecting it. In fact, when I messed around with the setting before my wife played it, because we were playing on the TV and I have kids upstairs, so I turned it on just to see, and there was a big black cutout over the green henchman you fight up in the first sequence of the game, and I'm like, why? And that's when I realized, oh, he's just naked that entire fight scene. I just never noticed his dick was out the entire fight.
Yeah. Well, doesn't Robert say something right off the bat?
I guess, but I didn't catch it, and he's green and glowing, so I just didn't see the dong.
Yeah.
I guess it's so weird.
I think Robert even goes, "Nice dong" or something like that.
Yeah. That's funny. So yeah, I didn't realize that, but I mean, the start of one episode basically starts with an orgasm dream. That was kind of like, don't play this around kids, I guess. It was a bit, I mean, it's fine for what they're doing. We
played it on the living room TV the whole way through. But when our kid never comes out of his room when he's gaming.
Right. So
we heard him gaming. We're like, oh, we're safe. He actually walked out a few times, but most of the game does not have any real. I mean, there's a fair amount of profanity in this game, which there's also a censor for. And I'll talk about that in a minute because it was stupid. But he never walked out during one of those moments, and we actually think he would want to play through it too. So we're going to turn on the nudity sensor and like mute it and have him not pay attention for the first 30 seconds of episode 4.
Yeah. And then it's fine afterward. It's really that one sequence. Yeah. Where, like, that's a bit much for like having kids. Like there's one sequence where a blonde blazer's doing up a dress and her nipples out. Like it's fine. It just was not what I was expecting from the game. But overall, again, with the sports team management, locker room mentality, it kind of fits with the story they're telling. I just wasn't expecting it. So it's interesting. But again, that's kind of like Invincible, right? Invincible is also just, it may be animated, but it's not a kid's thing, right? And Dispatch is not a kid's game by any stretch. So I wasn't expecting it. You said there's a swear sensor? A profanity sensor?
There is. So there's a profanity sensor as well. And oh my goodness. If you want to avoid profanity, just don't play the game, because there's a lot of profanity. And if you turn on the sensor, beep, 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 it does the bleeping instead of silencing it.
Yeah.
And if you got chasing the scene, you're going to hear so many beeps.
Yeah, he constantly swears. He's a stream of swears half the time. And he talks super fast because of his power. So it just, that's funny. The other accessibility option, which I had turned on and I didn't realize I did, was we didn't mention there's also a hacking mini game, which is interesting.
Oh yeah, I did not turn that on.
I had it on, didn't realize it was on until toward the end of the game. It prevents you from failing due to the running out of time. You can run out of time in the hacking. So I had that turned off. Yeah. I wasn't losing.
Well, it also gives you infinite attempts, I believe. Yes. So I think it turns off the timer and does away with your little 3 attempt bar.
Yeah, which honestly, I'm fine with, because the hacking game was cool, but if I had to repeat it, I got real frustrated. In fact, toward the end of the game...
I got really good at it in the second run.
Did you? Well, because a lot of stuff doesn't change. So if you memorize the codes for a few of them, it's easy street.
I didn't memorize the codes. It was just easier to avoid the antiviruses and stuff.
Yeah.
There was one that I think I failed in the first attempt, and in the second attempt, I was stressed because I came close to failing, but...
So what screwed me is there's one episode where there was a sequence of back-to-back hacking mini games you had to do, and I got a bug where the character, like the hacking avatar, flew off the screen, and it happened 3 times. And
whoa!
So I had to repeat basically half that episode 3 times. I ended up sitting, and that's when I started playing on my computer just to see if it was my Steam Deck issue or my PC, but it was the PC as well. So they've since patched it, thankfully. But that bug,
I would imagine,
screwed it for me. It was very frustrating. Having to repeat that 3 times is very annoying. So like there is auto saving in this game, and it's mostly fine, right? So if you don't feel like you need to do the entire episode at once in one go, although you're probably going to want to. But if the game crashes for whatever reason, or you have a bug like I had, you do end up repeating a chunk of the content again, and that's kind of a bummer. But it's been patched.
Yeah, it auto saves every 2 to 4 minutes.
I don't even think it's that. I think it's sequences, isn't it?
No, it auto saves every couple of minutes, except for during dispatch shifts. During the shifts, it only saves at the beginning. So if you honestly, if you feel like scumming it and you're having a really bad shift, you can kick out, come back in, and it'll start you at the beginning of the shift again. You might have like a minute or two of stuff happen before that, but then it'll drop you pretty quickly back into the shift.
Okay. But yeah, I was fine not having the fail condition on the hacking game. The hacking game was doing the job. It's still fun to do. In some ways, it reminds me of Shadowrun.
Some of them, I guess you can fail and the story continues, because there's statistics at the end of every episode, which we didn't mention, that tell you like what percentage of players made the decision you did, what percentage of players had the outcomes you did, things like that. And there's points where it's a hacking minigame, and it's like you and 99% of players chose to help Invisigal, like in the second or third episode, with the hacking minigame. And I was like, you can not help her? I thought that was just a given with the story. So apparently there's some places where you can fail the hacking minigame and the story will unfold a little differently.
So yeah, maybe worth trying with it and purposely failing them to see what the differences are. So
I think that's what I think that's because in our next playthrough, my wife said she wants to be the absolute worst.
Fail every dialogue, fail every hacking, fail.
So we're basically going to alienate everybody, make all the worst choices. It's like Batman if he's being self-destructive, right?
Yeah. Well, because like when I played, I tried to be a team builder, tried to help everybody. I romanced Blonde Blazer, which I think was probably not what most people did. I think Invisigal is kind of the
most people.
Way to do it.
It's something like 67% of players, or if not more, go for Invisigal.
Yeah. Like I think story-wise, it makes more sense with the interactions you have with her later on, and involving her in the team and stuff. So that makes more sense. Blonde Blazer is fine too. I like Blonde Blazer's character, but it is also weird having a relationship with a character who is supposed to be your fucking boss. So it's just, it is weird. Yeah, what a game! Like I was not expecting to like this nearly as much as I did. Like the reviews were all stellar.
Got 17 hours in it, and I'm looking at least another 15 more.
That's pretty awesome. Yeah, because to go through it once is about 9-ish, 10, maybe 10 hours, depending on how fast you go through.
Yeah, most episodes are 40 to 60 minutes. I think the last two are more like 70 to 90.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I repeated an episode because I wasn't able to play the next week, and I wanted to refresh, so I went back and did the other one over again. There are multiple save slots, like save things if you want to do that. But or you can just repeat, and it's fine. But when you repeat, it overwrites the decisions for that episode. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I mean, I figured that's how it worked, but I would imagine that changes how later episodes play out based on that decision.
I think
it might actually require you to do the episodes, like certain episodes, completely over again, because depending on it, it's like, if you went through the game with Waterboy and then you go back and pick Phenomenon, I imagine you're going to have to go back and do a lot of stuff with Phenomenon.
I'd have to check then, because I know I overwrote decisions in
now
episodes.
I'm curious.
It warned me. Now I think it might have locked me out of the later episodes, which would make sense considering. But there was also slots. Like you could pick like a
there's 4 save slots that I know of. I didn't try scrolling down further. But yeah, I might have to copy one of my save files and go back and do things just a little differently, because I'm curious now.
I think it must lock you out of later episodes and you have to repeat it. That would make the most sense. I think that's what might have happened.
Yeah.
I'd have to go see. But pretty great game. Just like to say how much I like it, there's a deluxe edition for like an extra $10 that gives you the soundtrack, I think. but also gives you access to digital comic books. They did digital comic books, nothing huge, but gives you a bit more backstory and some of the characters in the world. I kind of want to buy that just to show support to the studio. Like really glad it did well for them. Really glad that they're considering a season 2. It's enough that this is another studio, another indie studio, which has been a lot this year, that really knocked out of the park. And I'm watching what they do going forward. It's like, what, even if they're doing a Critical Role game, I'm not huge in Critical Role. They're fine. I'm not a big fan of the animated shows they've been doing, Mighty Nine and Vox Machina, I think the other one is.
I've not seen those at all.
They're not my things. So if Ad Hoc is doing a game based in those worlds, I would probably still give it a go because of how fun they've done Dispatch. But I do hope they do something like this again in a season 2. But whatever form that takes, we'll see.
Yeah, now I wonder about the soundtrack. I have to wonder if is Bitch on here? I have to wonder if it's just the
if it's not, that's a big,
there's 4 discs. Oh my goodness.
4 discs. How much music?
Yeah, it's a game? 4 disc. I don't know. It looks like 77 tracks are in this game.
Doesn't feel like that much music. Is it really that much? Crazy.
Oh man, now I'm curious. Is that in there?
Oh, there's another patch this week.
Yeah, there was a patch like 2-3 days ago. So they're really keeping it fixed. Like there were some apparently last episode soft locks that were possible. I never ran into them, but
yes, that's what I had with the hacking soft locks, and like I had to start over. Dispatch soundtrack and digital comic books, and it's like $12 Canadian, so less than $10 American. Yeah, that's probably worth it. Like I'm with you. Going back to the beginning of the episode, I would have liked to have seen it got best debut indie award. I think is what it should have gotten. But
that would have been cool.
Because
I know, like I said, Clair Obscur came in hot, right?
Yeah, and like technically Clair Obscur is an indie game, but the team is much larger than I think Dispatch is. And also when you have a game that is like so railroad, like just so successful, and it's like another level. It almost doesn't feel indie with how successful that game was. It's still indie, but it's almost up there like Baldur's Gate 3. Larian Studios technically is indie. Nobody's ever going to call it an indie game, but it's technically an indie studio, right? Maybe not Baldur's Gate 3, but Divinity Original Sin 2 was Live or Die based off Kickstarter. If that Kickstarter didn't happen, that studio would not exist. So they're an indie studio as well. So there's like a different tier of indie studios, and I think Dispatch should have gotten more recognition for that portion of the awards. But I mean, the game is still good, and like I said, any other year, I think it would have stood a good chance of getting something. There was just so much that came out this year. It was wild.
Yeah, and I will say, like, as far as Telltale games go, I really like them, but I always kind of hated the fact that it felt so disjointed between episodes.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, it is an 8-episode season of a show, basically, that you're interacting with and making unfold. And everything stays constant, right? Your characters, as a dispatcher, you level up and you get new stuff and, random points to add to characters. And your characters level up and they get points you can disperse amongst them and level them up. And, it's all there all the way through. It's not like you hit a point and it's like, oh, I guess I got to start over. No, right. It's
not like
that thing I did last episode doesn't really line up with what's happening right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the issues I'm not a fan of the Final Fantasy VII remakes is because like you can make little decisions that will have absolutely no impact on
nothing you do in the first game matters. Nothing. When you get to Rebirth, nothing matters. Your levels, your items, your decisions, your builds, nothing matters. Not that Dispatch
that's dumb to me.
JRPG, but it's like, I like it's just one game. Like, I'm fine. Like, they could have easily just waited for all the work to be done on the 8 episodes and release it all at once and just call it chapters. It would have been the same thing. I imagine you playing it now with all the the episodes being out. It's kind of like that feeling. You could binge it if you wanted to. I'm not a huge fan of going week to week, but it was fun for a bit. My only problem is when you go week to week. I
mean, that's kind of cool that they did that.
It's neat, but much like TV shows, I felt like if I didn't go and play it right away, I would get spoiled because of Reddit and Blue Sky posts and stuff, because people were really posting about Dispatch week to week when it was out. So I kind of like
I didn't see any of it. So
yeah,
because I bought it at release. I bought it while it was still on the release discount, and then I only just played it this week. So when did it come out? Let me see. How long did I wait to play it? I know it's going to kind of date our recording of this, but that's fine.
It's the holidays. It's okay.
Because we mentioned it's... But let's see. It came out October 22nd. So
right.
The initial episodes released October 22nd. It took me over a month and a half to finally play it. So... I mean, I missed the stuff that got all that. I missed all the spoilers and stuff. Oh, I will say the wife was disappointed at the romance options.
With just the two? Yeah.
Yeah. When they introduced Malevola, she was like, "Oh my gosh, she's so hot."
The devil girl? Yeah. It's just they even said, I think there's an interview they did with, I want to say it was IGN. Well, they talked about some of the character designs, and they based Mileva, I can't pronounce anything today, off of Cindy Crawford and the white tank top and the blue jeans, the denim shorts, the Pepsi commercial. That's what the design comes from. Except she's got a big ass Buster sword and she's a devil girl. But yeah, it's cool, and that's in the story too. Like some of the dispatch missions you go on, it's about a cult that worships her, and she hates it. She has to deal with it. Just the back and forth dialogue. It's small little lines.
Yeah.
But all those small little lines together really gives you like this cohesive world that's just fun. Like it's really good. Just funny. Like everything is funny. Like the story gets dark and whatnot later, but all the lines are really hilarious. Like this is like, there's very few games where I laugh out loud.
There's still tension breakers.
Yeah.
So even when it's dark and messed up. Yeah. I gotta say, like one of the things that's kind of early on that we're kind of curious to see how it will affect later game is with Royd in the bathroom. He tries to fist bump you.
Right? Yeah, you have to fist
Did you fist bump him?
Yeah, you have to. How can you not fist bump the guy?
We want to see what happens if you don't. I know, he's such a cool guy. Like, you like him so much that I could not fist bump him the second time either. Just to see what would be different. I couldn't do it. I was like, I like him too much. But, in the next playthrough, we're going to be the absolute worst. We're going to see what happens. Because there were a lot of moments where they fist bump again later in the game.
It's a thing for the entire game. It's like that, and also
I have to wonder if that's going to ruin it. It's probably going to ruin their relationship, I would think.
Because the other thing in the bathroom is you can tell him, like, his name is Royd, and then he asks, and then you could make a line at Crack about, oh, it's because of steroids, because you're big muscular type of thing. If you use that line or not, like I feel like if you use that line, it must change his attitude towards you, because that's a dick line to say, right?
No, it didn't. It was kind of a dick line, and he gets a little introspective and sad about it.
Okay,
but he's still pretty cool about things.
Right.
But yeah, I recommend at least going through a second time and making different choices than you did the first time.
Yeah,
just to see what, like, the major ones, because there were some that I was like, oh, that changed a lot, and I didn't expect it to.
I definitely want to do the choice with the romance option and switch to Invisigal. There's a few choices I want to make differently, and the ending too. The choice at the end of the game, I'm not sure how much impact there is, and I'm kind of curious to see what that looks like.
Oh, there was one that was really good. I'll tell you after the episode if you want, but
yeah, it's interesting. It's really great game. Like we have game of the year. I mean, again, pre-recorded episode, fine, but we're working on game of the year, our game of the year picks, and I know my number one, but my runner-up, real hard to pick, because I have Dispatch, I have Silksong, I have KCD2. Like, there's at least 5 games I played this year, which are all like any other year would have been game of the year, but this year it's just tough. It really is tough. It's one of my favorite games this year. One of my favorite games in recent years, actually. And again, this is like a genre I don't usually like. I skip over. But just that perfect storm of the price was right. It was all 8 episodes in one purchase. And I was told that it would be no cliffhangers, because the studio was not sure how well it would do, if at all do well. So I was, promised a cohesive story, which is very important, because I've seen people burned on some of the games from the Telltale before, And it's not Telltale's fault.
Yeah.
They got shut down. It is what it is, right? Sometimes games don't sell.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want a cliffhanger and I have to wait 2 to 3 years for another follow-up. And there's none of that with this game at all. So, plus superheroes. I'm a superhero kick lately. I love Invincible. I've been watching through that. And just perfect storm of a game. And it's just really, really fun.
I can see if this gets a season 2, it would likely be DLC for the first season. Like you'd have to buy the first game and then buy the DLC, because the fact that there's so much content in season 1 that could affect season 2. I mean, unless they go with a completely different cast of characters, in which case then I can see them making it a separate purchase. But, if they use any of the content from the first game as a source for the second game, I think it's going to be DLC.
Well, I mean, there's precedent for not doing that, though. Like Mass Effect, when you play the Mass Effect games, that you just point it to a save file. So, I mean, there's ways to do it.
That's true.
Or they update the first game to give a code or something that you use for the second game. So I could see it, but I kind of half expect that season 2, Robert would be Mecha Man, and I think if anything, he'd be a hero on a team, or he would be a boss or something. He'd be an NPC you deal with. I think he'd be a different main character. I think it'd be a different cast of characters. But I mean, I wouldn't mind cameos or seeing some characters brought back. I like Invisigal a lot. I fucking love Sonar. Sonar is great. I hope they bring him back. So we'll have to see.
There was one character in the game I was hoping to get more background on, and we never did.
Which one?
The cat.
Yeah. What's with the cat? Like you see him in the background. It's literally somebody in a cat costume. He brings you a coffee at one point, right? And it's just...
The last episode opens with him bringing coffee to Robert and Galen.
Right. Yeah.
And I was so excited. I was like, we're going to get something with the cat. I've been asking about this cat. And then we didn't get as much as I'd hoped, and I was disappointed.
No, I wonder if it was like something they were going to do more with the character, or if it just they needed something to lighten the mood for the last episode before it gets super serious. Because it's a pretty heavy episode.
That could have been it too.
I think one of my favorite moments, that bar scene is great with Prison blinding the henchman. The other one is when
the bar fight followed by the night at the 3 a.m. night at Taco Bell. That was a great episode.
That was good. A lot of heart-touching moments, and then it ends really strong with Flambe, especially if you tell him that you were Mecha Man and he realizes what you did to him. That was pretty powerful.
If you don't tell him, it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I have to try that next time. I think if you don't back up Invisigal, I think she knocks you out in the kitchen in the second episode, and you're on the floor and you got Twinkies beside you, and Sonar just walks over to you and he's like, "Hey, you eat those Twinks?" It's such a random thing. The guy in the suit and tie is a bat. I love Sonar. Sonar is just great.
Oh, I'm going to tell you, I want to share one more thing because it was just too fucking hilarious. Because I decided I was going to be a little more upfront with people in my second playthrough. And so that moment with Phenomenon in the parking lot.
Oh, you fessed up to the relationship?
I don't know. I don't know if you kissed Blazer in the first episode, but I did.
Yes.
And so I told him, and I was like, this is going to go bad. And it was absolutely hilarious. I loved it. It made me like Phenomenon even more.
All right. That was one of the decisions I didn't do, because I tried avoiding him because he felt like, I thought it was like, is it like a Homelander situation? How crazy is this guy? Because that's early on in the story. Wasn't sure.
No, he's but having been so sweet and likable.
Yeah.
No matter how awful you are to him, it never seems like you were awful to him. He's such a good guy.
Yeah. So that's one of the decisions I have to go back and redo. Yeah, I gotta play it again.
All right. Well, I think we've talked about all we could talk about without spoiling the really good stuff. But I mean, if this sounds even remotely up your alley, I highly recommend it. It's $30 or less if it's on sale. I don't know when we're going to release this episode, but it's at the same discount during the Steam Winter Sale as it was for the release, which I think is 10% off. So, I mean, $30 cap, you can't really go wrong if you don't mind spending $30 on an indie game.
It's cheaper than movie ticket is the way I look at it. And I got
Yeah.
10 hours of story out of it, and it's worth one. I'm well worth replaying again. So
yeah, it would have cost the wife and I much more to go to the movies and see a movie. So
yeah.
All righty. Well, thank you for listening to another episode of Press B to Cancel. We are part of the SuperPod Network, which you can find at superpodnetwork.com. And we have our own Patreon where we have different tiers. Subscribe if you can. If not, do not worry about it. We appreciate you just tuning in and listening. But if you subscribe at a certain tier, you get call outs. Would you like to do the call outs?
Sure. If you subscribe to our Circus Charles tier, Chard's favorite tier, we shout your name at the end of the episode. So to our 2 members of that tier, thank you very much, Vaughn Beardley and the enthusiast Jeff. Sorry, I've had a few drinks today. It's been a day off, and I've been drinking. But Jeff and Vaughn, thank you very much for joining us that tier, and thank you to all of our subscribers on Patreon. We definitely appreciate the support. It's definitely nice of you guys to do that for us. But again, you don't have to. Tell a friend. That's just also meaningful as well to us.
Yes. And with that, I think that should do it. Thank you guys for listening. Have a good one.
Great. Good night, everybody.